Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Team Liquid and compLexity. Map number 2, the choice of compLexity. So Liquid, I would say as expected, have decided to start on the CT side, and we will see if Liquid can close this one out more convincingly than the last. As you said, Seaside, I think a couple people would have been surprised that compLexity put up a fight, and we'll see if they can replicate that here again.
If I remember correctly, I believe Dust said they will need Jesus to win. So, it doesn't look like they need that, as they are able to put up a fight. Def towards a main. Will get dropped. Nice flick. Slemmy has to fall back to meet up with his team. Android's going down. The bomb is down. Bodies have hit the floor. There's more than just the bomb there, as Slemmy will drop, leaving Desi alone in a 1v4. Team Liquid pushing a main, and Squeaky will just completely catch out compLexity off guard 100%, as they will just put a thorn into the plan of compLexity.
Yeah, that was just sheer aggression right back into the faces of compLexity. I mean, before compLexity could even arrive to the A-bomb site, Liquid were flying in. So, great explosive pistol round to go the way of Liquid, just hitting shots and keeping things simple. They will buy into the SMGs this round, so not the full rifles as previously seen. Of course, that no bomb plant for compLexity means that they will invest. We'll have the double Tech 9, double Deagle, and Slemmy with an extra bit of utility.
Yeah, smoke flash. We'll see where he decides to use it. Right now, they're just hanging out, trying to work these pistols across the map. Surreal will be peeking with his Deagle. JDM towards the white box. He does have a UMP, so he is a little vulnerable to a one-shot from the Deag, as everyone on Team Liquid is, but positioning-wise, they're looking pretty good. Stanislaw, hazed, pushes aggressive into checkers. Desi, keep an eye on him as he's towards Squeaky. He didn't make any noise while getting here. And both players from Liquid are pushed up aggressive towards A main side. They know that Squeaky's a threat, but they're just going to neglect it until they hear the sound cue. Also, Real's going to continue to poke and prod towards mid, try to find a frag, as Elysian now will put his eyes forward towards that position. So compLexity, no luck with the pistols. Look for them to group and go for an execution with the smokes and flashes they have invested.
Yeah, Nitro's already holding the angle to A main, though, so as people walk in, he'll hit himself the shot. Surreal the first to fall, the bomb also going down, but Elige now peeking wide. Sandwiches from both sides. Elige, JDM, closing things down as it's just Android, the last man standing. Now he's got himself Kevlar, a Deag, and still utility. JDM's over to the fence, though. A blinding flashbang forces Android back into the corner, and as he attempts to hit that long-range Deag, he too will topple. Team Liquid convert the point, they grab themselves their rifles, and all is good as they move to the third.
Yeah, no harm, no foul there for Liquid. Yeah, they have to afford 2 rebuys, but if you get out SMGs, you're going to be able to farm up a bit more cash, especially against compLexity, where I imagine not going to invest in any armor. Surreal he only had one just a Deagle and no armor behind or any utility, just so he could afford that op in the coming rounds. Meanwhile, Liquid will have the rifles, the UMPs, and they're looking to lock down the B site. Aggressive push from Stanislaw, nade out, going to continue to push forward with FAMAS. He sees an army coming around the corner. Hayes gets to, as these unarmored opponents from compLexity will just hit the floor. Corpses warm while they lay there.
Def shouldn't fancy his chances, and he won't, as Elige takes the final headshot. A Liquid will grab 3. So no losses whatsoever. Very textbook stuff here from Liquid, getting themselves not only the pistol, but the following conversions, and they do so healthy as well. No economic loss, or at least very little. We can see JDM, he's going to hang on to the UMP, interestingly enough. Not going to go for the op upgrade. But meanwhile, compLexity, they do pick one up onto Surreal. So things could get interesting here in this round. We will see where Surreal decides to head. Looks like an early A main aggression.
Look for a flash from his teammates. He'll come over. JDM in. Slemmy gets the first. Good support from Surreal with the op by back A main. So the flash came through. Slemmy used the box beautifully, as compLexity find the opening 2. He leaves Nitro, Elysian, Stanislaw, 2 rifles, and a FAMAS. I count the FAMAS as a rifle, but not in that sentence, apparently. So 3 rifles for Liquid. compLexity, 2-man advantage. Just going to continue to work across the map, not rushing anything in case Liquid had some quick rotations, in case they had a couple more members there than expected. So they will have 2 members towards mid to lock it down for Liquid. Good jump spot from Stanislaw, as Elysia's alone towards A site. But compLexity, based on this utility usage, looks like they're going to shuffle towards B.
Yeah, at this point, there's just 0 defense from Liquid. So if compLexity continue further, I'm sure Liquid are just going to decide to go for the save. They shouldn't really be favoring themselves going into that disadvantageous retake. So Once compLexity realized this bomb site is open, Liquid are just going to transition away. And this makes sense. I mean, they didn't really fully invest. They had a lot of these guns still move forward. So economically speaking, it's not that bad of a situation for Liquid. Certainly, they would have liked to take a few of these guns away from compLexity so that they too would have a bit of a broken economy. In this case, that's not the situation. Liquid gonna have 3 standing, but Stanislaw is at least gonna aggress towards the bomb site. Gets a little wild with his spray downs, but comes up empty-handed. So he too will fall back. Team Liquid 3 standing at the end of the round.
Yeah, and it's critical compLexity keeping 5 members alive. The ops can still be at full play. Even if it dropped, it would get picked up, but compLexity keeping 5 alive is critical for the economy. Bolster early, and after losing 3-0 early, it's going to be looking good for compLexity going forward. And Slemmy holding for ninjas, none to be had. Liquid will save their rifles, so will compLexity respectively, and we'll be going into round number 5 with Liquid. I imagine they're going to force around this. I mean, you have 3 players with head armor, kits, Utilia, Nitro. Look for Stanislaw. Yeah, they're going to buy. I mean, they won 3 rounds in a row. Of course they're going to buy. JDM will have enough for the op again. Hayes will have enough. They are all good money-wise and buy-wise. But now they're going to be a little bit more in than normal. I mean, it's still a weird situation right now because not rarely do you see 3 players staying alive after the initial rifle round. So, I mean, a Nitro and Stanislaw and Elise still have money. So this game can get interesting as compLexity go back to the same push where they put 1 player towards box. Surreal supports. Slemmy's here with the bomb. Nothing too crazy for compLexity. Desi back towards his squeaky door. I imagine that's going to be his home in this default that Slemmy's called. Nitro going to be playing towards Fork as he'll have support from 2 players from Highway.
Yeah, now, I think it's interesting to note JDM's op presence on a map like Cache. He loves to lock down checkers, and he loves to lock down quad. But this round, we see him go towards mid first and foremost. And I think that might be because he's trying to counter the AWP of Surreal. And obviously, the boost from the T side is always a good start when you have that op on the offensive Cache. But unfortunately for him, he comes up empty-handed. No targets found until Surreal takes 1 down. Nitro, the back of quad, the only line of defense as the AWP rotates forward. Nitro's trying to get aggressive, but Def's having none of it, and it's another 5v3 here to compLexity's favor.
Crazy how they able to find it. The off of JDM, no luck. Def almost gets the double spray down. They'll get shut down instead from Stanislaw. Down to 23. Molly out, and he's falling back. And it looks like Hayes is going to use his utility trying to fall back. Android missing a couple shots will allow Hayes to escape with his rifle. compLexity will still keep 3 members alive, as Liquid will try to keep Hayes and Stanislaw living with their armor and rifles. So, I mean, compLexity looking good once they get the rifles in their hands, and we may just see Liquid buy up in the next round. I mean, we have 5,200 on Stanislaw. If he's able to stay alive, drop that rifle to a teammate. Nitro might be able to squeak out a gun for one of his teammates and go for a UMP or something. So we might see a cheeky buy from Liquid. But end of the day, they want to keep 2 members alive in compLexity. Regardless of how the save goes, they'll get round number 2.
However, at this point, compLexity is going to be exiting in their direction, so who knows what these final frags could end up looking like. Hayes has his back turned, stand spot some legs, but that is all. Both teams wanting to move forward with what they were able to hang on to. So Liquid's certainly going to buy in this situation, I'd assume. 2 players still sitting 7K. That's the op drop to JDM. And it's going to be interesting to see if JDM changes his spots. Again, checkers and quad. Those are really the 2 spots that I've seen the most notable highlights of him playing from. And now that he's seen Surreal go towards A as opposed to boost, he might just switch things up. And he will. He too heads towards the A site. But compLexity getting interesting here as they leave the bomb as an anchor towards T-spawn and again aggress towards A main. It looks as though they're just going to sit and wait and see if Team Liquid throws something in their direction.
Yeah, smart play. They've been playing a little aggressive towards A main, so just switch it up, maybe reading that Liquid may have the op on JDM and he might peek into A main. Slemmy just going to be playing that shoulder peek. Android gets boosted top red. Going to be holding for any aggression towards mid from Team Liquid as they too just settle into this similar setup to what they previously had with 2 towards mid, solo A to B. Nothing too different from either teams, just compLexity slowing the roll a little bit more. Normally, Desi would already be at squeaky. compLexity would already have a main control. Instead, they are just going to be playing it slower and just slowly aggress into these different map control positions across the map as time dwindles.
Step piece into middle, gonna burn out the close, but the contact's made towards white box. 2 targets spotted. Def through the edge of the box is able to hit the headshot. Elige the first to fall. Nitro also tagged heavily in the engagement's gonna have to fall back towards truck. And at this point, compLexity starting to shift towards the A site, interestingly. They know, of course, that they've weakened mid. Highway has lost 1 man, and Nitro tags still substantially. So he's gonna have to try and help JDM, but I hyped him up towards quad position, and that's exactly where he waits.
Question is, how much utility is going to be thrown his way to make his job even more difficult? Already one molly, they molly fence, they get a molly in their face in return. JDM, good peek from default, not to be hampered from those mollies yet. He's even going to flash for himself and repeak. This man's not done. He'll find a second. The third is there. JDM's got it. They're still pressing forward. JDM alive, going for the fourth as they are flash front red. He'll finally go down. Nitro, with the help of Hayes' nade, will find the last 2. And JDM avoids the mollies, flashes for himself, repeats. No fear in this man's eyes as they come around the corner. compLexity will buy, but shut down from JDM. You called it, Scrawny.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those very strong positions for an AWP player, and JDM is one of those kind of anchored ops that can really hit those fast repeaks. He's got a nice rate of fire with his play as well. He's very quick when it comes to his peaking, so you always have to be looking out for those sorts of plays. Again, that's exactly textbook stuff. He just, even despite the Molotovs burning him out of position, he's able to circumvent that by just landing kills when it matters most and putting a round onto the board here for Liquid. Now, compLexity going to be able to buy back themselves, with Surreal tagged at the beginning of the rounds, already down to 60. So Team Liquid in a fine spot here to bottom out the economies of compLexity and force them back into pistols. It's JDM himself to find the opening frag. He spots the weapon swap of Slemmy, so he knows there's still presence nearby.
And this time it's a switch up from Liquid. They will give JDM full presence towards mid by himself, towards white box. And if he falls or has to fall back, because he's going to be open, but they put 2 in a sight. Meanwhile, Hayes playing on the edge of the smoke beautifully. He's able to get 1 free member from compLexity. Android's going to try his best to refrag. A flash full binds both members. Android yet to be cleaned up. 10 bullets will continue to push forward. Molly, he'll lose the gunfight to Stanislaw. JDM shows up on the scene, and the rest is history as Desi will peek out. Nice headshot, though, and he'll at least drop the op. That will get retrieved surely. Hayes back sight cleans it up. Don't think they can get to the op in time, but they have enough bang in their bucks, in their wallet, to get that done. So we'll see. I mean, Liquid are still having a great defense. They're switching it up now, where that round they had 2A. JDM alone mid with the op. He's floating around, but like floating like a fly, stinging like a bee as he just floats around the map. We've yet to see him go B. That's still a possibility. And that's the nice thing about having an opper that doesn't care where he plays as long as he has the op.
Just going to be pistols for compLexity. P250s and a deagle. Now, we've seen Def rip heads before, but this round it's Hayes already aggressively into B main. He's going to lead the charge off the SMG, and he doubles down onto the head of Slemmy. The bomb hits the dirt, as do the corpses, and it's just going to be Elige now to take his place. Desi also dealt with, and these guys are just falling one after another. Great anti-eco round from Liquid.
Push with the SMG, support with a rifle, clean cut. No issues with it. They're able to get the money on Hayes. He'll have more money than he previously did. MP9 has served its purpose. 6-2 compLexity. We'll have to go full AKs across the board. There's not enough funds in the bank to get themselves the op on Surreal, who played extremely well with that on Mirage. Hasn't had too many chances to shine with it here on Cash. Slemmy will bite the bullet. And interesting to note, Slemmy had enough to go for an AK. Instead, he's going to elect to be that guy, the team player, the man to really get the team moving and grooving and buy full utility, while Elige is going to boost up and over towards Shroud Boost. So Team Liquid still keeping compLexity honest and on their toes.
Nice off angle with the Shroud Boost as well from Elige. Not on the boxes, but instead above the door. That's going to give him a good target into A main, but Slemmy might have spotted it. The way he's repeating, yep, red like a book. As the first man falls, the damage is dealt the other way, though. compLexity already with 3 players heavily lit. And Stanislaw peeking in from Forklift will find Def. That's the equalizing frag, but it's Android with a headshot of his own inside of middle to bring this into compLexity's favor.
Stanislaw going to get aggressive from white box, although they have a man advantage. compLexity have a man advantage. Stanislav, he does want to have like a better positioning here to trade out effectively. Gets the first 1 seconds there. He will drop. Liquid, knowing they were a man down, needed to push somewhere to find a refrag, even it up, if not get an advantage. Stanislav tried to do that. Instead, he'll fall. Man advantage still for complexity. I mean, Desi, a bullet graze and he'll drop. He's on 2, Surreal's on 50. JDM still poised and ready to deal damage with the op towards B. But it looks like complexity have transitioned into A main. Nitro, same play as Stanislaw. Push mid for info. See if you can hear anything. Find a frag. No one's going to be there. And as soon as complexity go towards the A site with 17 seconds, look for Nitro and JDM to save the situation.
Yeah, for sure. This is another round where complexity have found a bit of an opening towards the opposite site, but this is because Liquid have placed themselves, in a position to contest. All right, they fancy their chances. They're going to be coming in with utility as well, and with all of this damage, those frag grenades could easily find kills, but the boost to the back of Quad will tell Nitro there's 2 players there. So now they just need to find Desi, but Nitro's going to get tagged as Android hits the shot. The frag sails over and chips down to Surreal, but not enough. That frag kills Desi, though, and now we're at a 2-on-2.
Nitro's going to go to the front right. It looks like he has different. He's going to push in sight. First engagement's there. Surreal comes out on top, finds 2s. Liquid go for the retake. It was risky. They knew the HP was low on a couple players, so that must have been the call. They used their utility appropriately. And I mean, I guess it's at the same time where they know they're going to need a strong buy in the next round. Go for it, risk it, see if you can make it happen. 6-3 complexity. We'll have AKs out. Liquid will get the op back out of JDM. Full utility for everyone on Liquid. Meanwhile, complexity will be hampered a little bit in that sense, where Desi will have none whatsoever. Android a little low, but it looks like a little more B presence from complexity. They might try to hit this one quick, but look at Stanislaw towards heaven.
Yeah, he's going to get spotted out, but the frag grenade does great damage. Android already down to half. They follow up with a second. Great utility usage here from Liquid to hamper the push of complexity. Nitro is able to find the first frag, and he spots more targets as he comes from vent. The smoke goes out, and now he's secured. Complexity are going to have to walk away with their tail between their legs, and not much health left on their bars.
Nitro gets himself back to checkers. Complexity still know there's a player towards checkers. They're trying to clear him out, but I mean, can they really expend any more utility to try to flush a player out of checkers? That's not even going to help them move on to site. I mean, Nitro is going to be able to get himself out with a smoke, so they don't have to worry about it. Complexity, they have 3 smokes for an execution. A molly, some flashes. A Liege on top roof, going to be holding mid. 50 seconds on the clock, while Slemmy on 4 HP will be holding for any kind of flanks, transitions from Liquid. As a Liege is in vents, and he can really rotate to either side at this point. But I mean, Liquid, heavy pressure towards B, but it looks like complexity is just starting to phase out towards mid. So Liege might have his hands full. JDM has to continue to anchor A from truck.
Looks like Desi's just going to play the role of anchor. He's going to come out mid-late as complexity continue creeping towards A site. Desi jumps the gun, peeks wide, and falls accordingly. JDM now going to feel the pressure, but he too takes the shot. Slemmy peeking before the smoke plumes. These are just terrorists following one after another, and it's all down to Def and Surreal. Def will be able to find himself the bomb plant, and Surreal has his op trained towards the truck. But at the time being, it's Liquid with a 2-man advantage. All 4 players coming in from their spawn.
Yeah, smoke towards A main. Surreal can just focus towards truck. JDM will be the first around the corner. Timing for Surreal might just peek into JDM's hold. No, it's the other way around. JDM upgrades to the AK. Gets it done. Nitro has the op. They will upgrade. Double ops. AK's retrieved. Liquid. A lovely retake, but complexity getting a little bit more meat off the bone than they could have expected that round. They got taken down early. They're already down to a 4v2, so getting the bomb plant is just going to allow them to get some pistols, maybe some utility here into this round, and then get a buy in the following. Liquid looking good on the CT side. Complexity, their end goal here is probably like 4, 5, 6-ish in that range. I mean, they can't expect too much now. This is going to be 8-3. The rifles haven't been working out for them. Their default's been getting picked apart. And the quick play towards B is not working, so complexity might need a pause as soon as they get rifles to really think things through.
Frag grenade's not going to hit the mark towards B this time around, but complexity do still hang on to the 1 smoke and flash, so that's going to have to be the bread and butter of this round for them. If they don't set something up with that utility, then it was a bit of a missed opportunity. If we see the 2-player boost over with a flash, that'd be a nice little play. Stanislaw will be presented targets coming in from multiple directions. Now, Def has actually been able to creep his way out, and this isn't spotted yet, so he'll keep walking forward. Stanislaw's still the only player towards mid, but there is immediate support towards the A site, and he's not going to fall anyways. Immediately executes Def as he rounds the white box, and it's just another player from complexity going down.
Yeah, Desi's going to try to follow in Def's footsteps, minus the death as he'll come around white box. Good flash this time. Stanislaw needs some help as he's out of bullets onto the pistol. Surreal, he knows bombs just on the other side of that white box. He's forced to peek. He'll leave the support from Ace sight. We'll have it on lock. 8-3 is going to be our scoreline. compLexity will get a bye into this round. We'll see what's going to get put onto the board. There's not going to be the money for the op. It's going to be AKs once more. Surreal. I'd like to see him flourish on the op, but he's not going to be able to. Again, it's going to be rifles, Liquid, the double op setup. JDM Nitro to be having those. Look for aggressive op angles. We're going to probably see JDM continuing to lock down the A side, I think is where he was, while Nitro will be switching it up probably from mid or something along those lines. But as I say this, the op from JDM is going to go to B while Nitro heads to A, so the opposite of what I said.
And the aggression moving forward here from Hazed as well. We've seen this before on the anti-ecos, but this time it's a gun round. So Android's going to feel pressured here, and it's as he's jumping, he gets shot in the legs, down to 35 points of health, while Def finds one frag. It's Stanislaw inside the smoke, wildly spraying as he trades it back. Hazed to do the same, and it's a 3-on-3 once more. Now Nitro's going to be coming into middle, off of the A bomb site. Slemmy anchored behind the white box as his teammates tried to pinch B, but Android was the bomb carrier at the beginning of the round, so that's still in the possession of Liquid. A crucial frag from Slemmy here inside of middle, though, forces JDM into the open. Desi smoked off, the flash goes wide, and he punishes Hazed as he gets aggressive, now down to the 1v3.
Yeah, it's all in JDM. 50 seconds, he knows where bomb is. He's getting pinched from B main and one player in T spawn. So, I mean, it's a tall order for JDM to hold this bomb, and he's just going to listen for any sound cues while in useless. He does have the op, but we know how quick and how deadly JDM can be when he has the op in his hands, and he'll hear those sound cues coming from B main, while the player from T spawn just going to be holding. First one goes the way of JDM, and it looks like he has different ideas. Instead of continuing to challenge that bomb pickup, he's just going to fall back immediately towards vent, and it leaves compLexity thinking, where did JDM go? What is he up to?
He's going to fall down in time as well. Hits the second shot. And it's going to be Surreal up close to win the AK spray. Dangerously close to losing that compLexity 1v3. I mean, great repositioning from JDM, clearly catching them off guard and keeping compLexity from grandfathering more than one weapon forward. Surreal will get his hands on the op, which is exactly what he was looking for. The AK is going to follow suit with the buy here from compLexity, but their economy's still bottomed out, and Team's Liquids is looking fine. Interesting to note, though, Elige going to go for that AUG.
Yeah. You don't see it too often. I know you're a fan of the SG. The AUG doesn't really wet your whistle, personally. From what I recall, it's real. Nitro will do the jump peek into A main, just misses that op shot. Stanislaw going to boost one player up into vents. So we'll see what the AUG is going to deal some damage on Elige's back. Nitro playing towards Fork, just going to fall back. JDM is here with his op. Going to see him getting boosted single box, a strong headshot angle to hold A main. Nitro just has to worry about highway and Squeaky, while Elige will hold down mid with his AUG. Haze boosted into vent. So I mean, compLexity just working their default again across the map. This time they'll take some damage for it. Def down to 29. Other than that, they've net themselves some information as they hear JDM jumping. So I think Desi knows that he's top quad. The question is, does Desi take this peak?
This is a serious off angle from JDM. You know, he can just fall back into the site if he feels pressured. Nitro's going to support him over towards Forklift, so he won't have to worry about Squeaky either. This position from JDM should catch compLexity off guard, so unless they use a proper flashbang to blind him, just like that, he could have hit that shot. He nearly does anyways, but at this point, compLexity have moved forward. The rotation's inbound. Haze has found one, but it's Slemmy and Surreal to take it back into the hands of compLexity. Again, the trade frags working out here into the favor of the terrorists, all down to Stanislaw, 1v3.
Molly towards default won't deny the plant. It was just outside. The op Desi posted on the corner. compLexity, interestingly enough, will pick up the double op. We'll see if they're going to work with it. I mean, they might just... It looks like they're going to. I mean, they wouldn't have picked it up if they didn't feel confident in the double op setup of Def and Surreal to hold those. compLexity save one rifle. AKs will come up for their teammates. Liquid, in a weird situation where two players have a ton of money, the rest are a little low. So you'll see a UMP come out from Stanislaw, pistols for the rest. And again, the UMP, for considering how low it's the value is, like the turnover value in the UMP is crazy. So I mean, if you have a ton of money and you're just going to even out your economy with your teammates, instead of just going for a pistol and some utility, the UMP is a fair choice. Elige pushing in mid, catches Android switching weapons, but able to get it out in time to be able to find that frag onto Elige. JDM pushing towards mid. as he will pick up the mantle where Elige left it with his CZ. Mid 20, out comes Def, damage dealt, complexity. May just pick apart Liquid this round.
JDM won't retreat into the vents. Def's able to catch his back turn. Now Desi over towards the doorway, spots Nitro until Hayes trades it back. So we do still have Liquid in a 2 versus 4. They've got their hands onto some guns as well, but the bomb site over towards B has fallen clearly into the control of complexity. Surreal peeks wide with that op. He connects the shot, and the last man will be hazed 1v4. Now, he could try to gamble here and deal some extra damage. The save is going to be tantalizing, but so are these frags. Slemmy gets over aggressive and falls because of it. 1v3, last 3 guys all hit. They should just turtle shell up into the site and ensure that all 3 survive.
Yeah, helps you peek into the op of Def. So the double op will net themselves 3 kills in total. Complexity starting to turn this into an alright T side, 8-6. If we see an 8-7, Complexity going to be looking pretty good when they jump over to the CT side. Elige again goes back to the AUG, op out on JDM, no change there. As it will be a full buy for round number 15 for both teams. That's what you like to see. An exciting last round, 8-6 is the current scoreline. Double ops for Complexity. Surreal heading towards B main for the opening pick, as he may be met by Stanislaw, who is just going to smoke it, followed by a decoy and a flash, as he will consider falling into checkers.
Team Liquid going for that aggressive A stance again. JDM's going to have the angle held towards the entrance, and then this should catch the players off guard, seeing as Nitro's over towards lockers. So doubling down on A main. Nobody going to keep their eyes on Squeaky, but it's Hayes towards mid with the help of the smoke to keep himself pushing forward. No counter boost or anything along those lines. Complexity just relying on the double op setup, sitting in the back and waiting for these kinds of aggressions.
Slemmy might spot the feet of Hayes as the smoke starts to dissipate. Molly coming over an event. Hayes has to be careful. Molly and Dart, good counter Molly. Good spray from Hayes as he's going to be able to fall back. Slemmy had a challenge in the Molly. Down to 43 he goes. JDM in the meantime opens it up towards Desi by A main. Complexity now looking to transition towards B, where Stanislaw lies in wait, back spam. He has a full clip of 20 bullets as he waits for Complexity to push in. Flash over, Android weak, kill fall. Repeat coming in from Stanislaw momentarily as a flank from Hayes shows up. Surreal now in a 1v5. He gets the first, looking for more, but he's stuck front pit, and that's where he will lie dead until the next round. Stanislaw, good hold towards the site. 9-6. Complexity can't be too upset about that T half, though.
No, by no means. I mean, it was looking a little shaky when they only had those 2 rounds, and then we see, of course, the 6th to the 8th all go the way of Team Liquid. The reset in round 9 really hurt them, but luckily for Complexity, they squeak through on 12, 13, and 14. So they definitely have enough of a half going for them, although I do think that Team Liquid were a little more convincing in their success here. And once they're on the T side, it'll be interesting to see how JDM's op translates over. Again, he's very good at holding those anchored positions, but I'll be curious to see if they try to use him to crack open sites as well.
And I mean, we saw Complexity go for it later on in that half, the double op T side. I mean, I guess it wasn't by purchase, it was by pickup, but they still went for it, and it actually worked out for them near the end. So I'm interested to see. We saw a little double op from Liquid on their CT side. We'll see if it gets picked up and used to an equal content as what Complexity did. I think the double ops on Cash is one of these weird, like, niche topics where some teams like it. You don't see it too often, just based on the layout of the map. It does support an opper for sure, towards B and A and mid. All 3 lanes of this map can be heavily contested by op pressure, so we'll see if the double op gets in play. Speaking of double ops, you and your team can run double ops, and you too can become a good opper with a brand new PC. If you wish to enter, it's free. Why not? Global giveaway. Enter at ibuypower.com/ibuypower-invite. Get your name in the hat, win a PC, and start lounging and opping your life away in Counter-Strike. Because we all love the game. We love the game. Scrawny is the best SG player in the world, and he's an okay opper too.
Very kind words. Team Liquid coming out of the T side with a smoke in the hands of Hayes, to also drop the Tech 9 for Elige, so a raid boss in play. Number 16, the round, the pistol is upon us. Slemmy has the kit, and it looks as though they'll go for the B site retake. We can see Android playing very passive towards the back of tree, and this is exactly where Liquid are just going to start barreling forward. The smoke grenade will obscure his vision, so he shouldn't be allowed to hit these shots. The bomb plant will happen with 3 players already towards after plants inside of checkers and B main.
Slemmy, no utility thrown towards heaven. as they are out. Nothing left for Liquid to use. Slemmy's going to slowly start to work towards the heaven position. Look at Liquid, though. They have pushed 3 players back into vents, or back into checkers, and 1 player flanking from vents to Z. We'll see if compLexity can be ready for this. They have their own smoke towards B main. They're going to start the push. Stanislaw and Hayes getting it open. JDM tuning in. Def is only able to get 1. Dropping from the heavens is Slemmy, as Elige's flank will clean it up. Liquid double digits on a nice, clean pistol round. Really, they smoke cross, get in sight. No damage dealt. Immediately a flank comes through, and that's how it falls apart. Liquid plant for themselves in checkers. No one on site. And it caught compLexity completely off guard by the sheer amount of players in checkers.
Liquid going to transition immediately into the double AK setup. 3 SMGs looking to make some cash flow. compLexity going to force buy as well. Of course, Surreal, no armor. He wants to get that op. And already it's Def to get up close and personal towards the bottom of mid. Elige finding the head of Slemmy, though. Nitro doubles down onto Android as well. So Team Liquid already making quick work of this force buy from compLexity.
Oh, look at Def. Trying to be sneaky with this. He's able to get in mid. I think the call came through. Stanislaw spots him anyway. Def's going to transition out. Almost wins that duel against the lead. He'll go to 11. Surreal is there. 8 bullets left in the clip. Is he going to fall while he jumps to top roof? He will. Leaving Desi alone. 5-7. About to drop to Nitro. Ooh. Desi's got something up his sleeve as he's able to find that shot in Nitro. We'll pick up the deagle. 1v3. Desi, I mean, he might just try to save the armor at this point. I mean, Liquid aren't even going to be hunting him. They're going to get the bomb planted, and we'll see if Desi's just going to elect to save the armor or just go for it. I mean, you won't buy next round. You might as well just get another shot with the armored eagle, in my opinion, but we'll see what Liquid decide to do. If they hunt, Desi might not be able to save. If they don't, Desi might be able to retrieve that UMP and be looking pretty good.
Yeah, I would hate to see these AKs try to chase for the frag. So if anyone's going to chase, although they probably shouldn't, it would be Stanislaw. He'd have the benefit of making the quick cash off of the ump, but looks as though everybody's fine with saving at this point. Stan is creeping around T-spawn, but very much not, trying to force this kill. So Liquid with a convincing pistol, convincing follow-up round, until Desi towards the end is able to do some work. But he's grabbed the ump, so he's got a little bit more going for him. Takes some shots towards Stanislaw, but will fall back to safety. And then compLexity going to just have to bite the bullet in a follow-up round before they do get guns.
So it will be interesting to see how Desi actually gets utilized in this round. He drops the UMP over to Def, which to me is interesting. You think you drop the deagle and keep the UMP on the armored player. Instead, he's going to drop it over to Def. We'll see where the UMP is going to be headed. Desi feeling comfortable in his deagle. He has armor. He's going to be taking some engagements. Maybe he'll peek into A main. He might just play more headshot angles. We'll see where he's going to go. Liquid, they know the buy from compLexity is going to be extremely hampered. They're just going to go for a quick play over boost, smoke Z, smoke towards highway, and just take this mid control. Similar to Mirage, mid control is extremely important, and it really allows you to control the pace.
Hayes will be prying for information towards the A site. He spots Desi. Shots traded back and forth, but he's already down to 30 health, so he needs to make sure that he does not go down to the USP of Android. Android peeking out from mid, also made contact, so now Liquid getting a bit of a read towards this middle/A site. And if they were to just go for B, then maybe they could find it before the CTs arrive. Stanislaw towards mid finds the frag kill. JDM the headshot, and it's JDM to look for more, but great pistol work here from compLexity. They've been able to topple 2, and that's guns in their hands.
A couple of UMPs on unarmored players of compLexity. Elige back checkers might get challenged from Desi, who, interestingly enough, is able to pick up that AK. He has armor, 29 HP. Elige contemplating a peek. He'll take some spam from behind. Just dodging the bullets. He's saying no thank you, as Elige is just going to hang out and let his teammates work this out from sight. There's 2 on site. Elige is alone towards checkers. Desi, think he's just going to be holding for exits. I think that's what compLexity are up to. These UMPs might just go for it. Desi's going to save. These UMPs might just throw their life away because they know they're going to get a better buy next round than what UMPs have. They have right now.
Real takes 2.
Jeez.
It's going to be only Elige standing here. Desi's going to keep his AK as well, so decent little cleanup from compLexity, dealing the damage in the round that they really shouldn't have. Liquid losing a couple players before they decide to just execute into B site, and then nice little 2K from Surreal towards the end. So as you said, compLexity going to invest into this round. Surreal grabs the trusty op, and he'll get a utility as well. Same can be said for the entirety of Liquid, everybody firing on all cylinders.
The op on JDM, we'll see where he's going to take this opening pick. He can take a boost, he can go towards B main, he can hold A main. There's a lot of options for JDM across the map. He is #1 in your mini-map. Actually, nope, the numbers are swapped, aren't they? I believe. Well, darn. No, they're not swapped. I'm losing my mind already. JDM has bomb and he's boosted. You know what? It's still early. I haven't had coffee yet. Desi's holding vents. Nitro might consider a challenge here as Liquid will fight once again towards mid control. And interestingly enough, compLexity, when they get the op, they get the rifles, they just don't want to contest it. Smoke came in early. Surreal's going to be playing an extremely pushback angle in CT to hold top roof. Def is in A main. So, I mean, compLexity willing to give up mid and just hold on the connectors from Z to top highway.
Unfortunately for Surreal, I was going to say he might not expect that close presence, but the angle of the bank nade there tells him they're already pushed up forward. So he knows that they've lost mid control, and it's tough for him as an opper to really do anything in this point. You can see how he falls back to the opposite side of Zed. He's you know, just looking for a desperate angle to the top of the boxes, but highway has now been lost, and the 2 players on the A site for compLexity will be pinched on the forklift unless Surreal can lock this down. But the smoke grenade plumes in front of him, that blocks his vision. The T's go wide, Surreal's not stopping it, and he too toppled as Nitro and Elige combine for 3. That A site has fallen.
Beautiful smoke towards truck puts Surreal in such an awkward situation. If that smoke wasn't there, he would be able to shut down that double spray from Nitro before it even happens. Instead now, compLexity have to save on Desi and Android. Liquid get to 13. It's imperative these 2 rifles get saved, otherwise Liquid are going to be looking so good in this game. They might be able to just pick this one up without too much resistance. Liquid will keep 4 members alive. Huge entries from Nitro. compLexity left stumped on round number 6 as Liquid will push themselves to 13.
Looking for the last kills, if they can find them. compLexity going to do a good job of keeping themselves up, though. And I mean, Liquid at this point, their money's not huge. Of course, JDM and Hayes, having been dealt with in the previous round, had to bottom their banks out. But 3 guys, 4, excuse me, standing is fine. This was a convincing gun round at that as well. I mean, it definitely comes down for the mid control being lost. I mean, we saw how Surreal was repositioning, and then again, that smoke grenade plumes just moments before he was holding the angle. Looked as though he was waiting for some kind of a flashbang, the way he was looking the opposite direction. Unfortunately for him and the rest of compLexity, it's within that window of opportunity that the highway flank pushes and nets themselves that big opening on the A site. So, great round for Liquid. They buy back in with everything that they have to. compLexity attempt to do the same, but it does leave them deflated with an ump and a FAMAS.
Oh, Surreal went for the B main pick early, then flubs the smokes, and now he feels the pressure to make sure this op is able to get 1 kill. He can't find the shot, down to 34, he's going to fall back. That B main smoke would have saved him from having to repeat that. Instead, he felt the pressure and the need to do so. Desi invents. Or Molly, that actually spreads to him. He has to fall off as one rains in behind him. He is still taking a little bit of damage as he's down to 59. Will take some wall bangs to go down to 56. He's in a rough spot. Another flub utility from compLexity this round. Down goes Desi. Surreal will try to bring it back, but Liquid already with a man advantage. A minute 5 to work with. Plenty of utilities still under their belt. And Surreal may just have Elige dead to rights until that flash comes in.
Elige still trying to find an angle towards B, but Surreal's going to fall on back. Nitro, meanwhile, with the wall of smokes and mids, been able to get himself towards vent, and Slemmy's on the other side. He's just waiting to grab some sort of a timing to surprise these 2 Liquid players. Meanwhile, Elige removes Surreal from the B site, so Slemmy attempts to hit his flank, and he will with 1, swapping to the AK, and at least pinching Team Liquid into the B-bomb site. But interestingly enough, Stanislaus still towards Squeaky, so this is grabbing the attention of compLexity, who are now all coming towards A, trying to save, but Stan's having none of it. Hits the head onto Def, Android trades it back, so 2 players for compLexity still standing, but Liquid will find 14.
Yeah, 14 is already solidified in the pocket of Liquid. Slemmy, Android going to try to save these 2 AKs. They do have a kit, armor, some utility. We may see a pause coming out from compLexity shortly. I mean, it's just at the point where they've just gotten ran over twice now. Liquid's default have been able to pick them apart. The opposite rail not firing like it was on Mirage. Slemmy gets 1 before he drops Android on 10. May be able to retrieve this op unless Hayes pushes in time. And it looks like the op will get saved from Android. No, the nade from Hayes. You hate to see it. It comes in last second. The op won't get saved. compLexity have nothing going for them as Liquid are 2 rounds away from closing it, and a pause comes out as, again, Surreal still on 15, so he's really firing still, though.
I mean, that's the thing, right, is Surreal has been still hitting shots. It's just the rest of his team has been a little lackluster. And it's not to say that Surreal's kills have really been like super impactful to set up the rounds for their wins. It's just that he's at least been regularly winning these duels. Of course, if we take a look at the scoreboard, you guys can see how Liquid have really started to turn this around since their T side started. Winning both pistols and then consequently the conversion points after them is generally enough to kind of seal the deal. If you can still lose a game after that, then there's something wrong. And if you give a team like Liquid those 6 rounds for free, not to mention a all right T-half from compLexity, it wasn't anything above and beyond, they're not going to be sitting very safe. So the pause comes to a close. compLexity is going to get one last chance to stop this victory from Liquid, or at least stop them from securing overtime. And Liquid going to get tricky here with the AWP and double SG.
Yeah, that is getting a little sneaky. It's real and Def will have those UMPs. Double SG, right? Jeez, I didn't even notice it until I looked over. I heard you say it, and I'm like, nah, there's... Oh, okay. Nope. Hazed and Elige will have those. So 14-6. We'll see if these SGs are going to come out on top. Elige will get boosted. Surreal has to be careful with the UMP. It's hard to hold the mid with the UMP. You have to really put your attention on one area. It's hard to cover boost and mid main. compLexity 3 members towards B main early. It looks like they're contemplating some aggression as they start to group Team Liquid. They're just going to continue to hold in useless. They have a player boost, a player mid, one holding, I believe that's Stanislaw. Right now that's Hazed holding towards Squeaky, while Stanislaw in B main is going to find Slemmy pushing by himself. He'll fall. So compLexity already a man down. Minute for Liquid to work with. 14-6. They're down to 2 rifles and 2 UMPs to try to hold off against Team Liquid.
I like that Team Liquid slowed down the pace of this round. compLexity have their back against the ropes. They take a pause, so they have something in mind coming into this round. Stanislaw takes a second frag. But in order to counter that, you just play reactive CS. You wait to see what it is they have planned. And that was the push towards B main where Stanislaw takes 2 frags. Now, Android's able to rotate in time to catch Stan with a flash in hand. So it is still a 4 versus 3 here to the favor of Liquid, but Def being removed from middle opens up some options. Unfortunately for Liquid, the time's ticking quickly, and Android just goes jumping wildly into the open, trading one and done to leave Surreal for only a moment as he too is toppled. JDM with a second frag in the round, and Team Liquid securing OT.
Yeah, compLexity are still yet to get around here on their CT side. I mean, they had a promising T-half. They were able to find some entries, have some nice execution, get the opening picks. And it was looking like they might have been able to have a pretty good CT side, but nothing's been going their way. Liquid have been getting to sites. They've been winning the post plants. They've been winning the engagements. They've been getting mid relatively for free every single round. I don't know if this round's going to be any different. Kid is sitting. Surreal has to hold it again with a UMP. This time he has a molly towards boost. That only holds him at bay for so long, while compLexity back towards aggression towards B main. As Liquid, again, just going to switch up the pace. This time transition more of a default hold towards the B side, or the A side of the map, while JDM's alone towards B.
Def's going to get caught out of position here. He's taken a lot of damage on Nitro, but Elige is there to support. So while Nitro survives on 5 points of health, it is the kill in favor of Liquid. Meanwhile, the creeping through the smoke catch JDM off guard. The pop flash not fast enough. Slemmy takes the frag, and a 4-on-4 ensues.
Hazed holding towards useless. Slemmy gets the op. The SG is posted and waiting for the repeak. Bomb is there, so if Slemmy's able to spot the bomb, we may see the player Z's just push right down mid-main. As Elige through the smoke. Nice entry to find Desi. Scoped in and all. He'll find a second target on Android towards Truck. Surreal, last line of defense. As Liquid come barreling into the site. Can't find a single one. It's all on Slemmy. In a 1v4, Elige kills Nitro for the lulz. As Slemmy's in a 1v3 to try to bring this back for compLexity. But can Liquid close it out with the SGs?
We'll see if Slemmy's got it in him. Molotov's frags forces him to the open. He does take one, so it's looking doable, but Stanislaw just creeping away in the corner here could catch him off guard. 20 seconds as the bomb goes down. Slemmy swaps to the AK and tries to push forward. Molotov's going to force him into the open, but it's the combo between Stan and the flashbang to seal the deal. Team Liquid take the map 16-6 and the series 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, everyone